Welcome back to my virtual art room. It's lesson 3 and we're looking at primary and secondary colours again. Now if you don't know where your work is if you sent it to me, go to the very top right hand corner of your page. Where you see more, click the down arrow. The down arrow will take you to all the pages on the website and you can click on any of those pages and their down arrows will take you to all the different lessons. So if you have a grown-up, show them. Now sometimes at the very top of it you will find the different pages, and if you click on just visual arts you'll find my home page with all your photos on. So send me more photos and I will add them. Today we're doing the colour wheel and we're going to make monsters. We're looking at the elements of art. We're looking mainly at colour. We're looking at the primary and secondary colours. But today we're going to be looking at line because we're drawing monsters. And also we're going to look at texture. We're going to print with textures onto the page, and that's going to give our monsters interesting texture. So make sure you've got a grown-up with you today because we're going to use aluminium foil and some water, and you might need a little bit of help. Okay, so wait till you've got someone to help you. Today the learning intention is that we're going to know which two primary colours make which secondary colour. We're going to show the two primary colours and the secondary colour in our monster picture. We're going to transfer colour by printing onto the monster, and we're going to show texture in our work. So as we peel off the foil, it's going to make the texture look a bit like paint, a bit like watercolour paint, and then that's going to give the monster an interesting, possibly fur-like appearance. And that's all that texture is. You don't have to feel texture, sometimes you can just see it. You don't need much special equipment, just pencils and textures. You will need to draw your monster in either black permanent marker, pencil or crayon, and not one of your textures from your texture pack because that will get mushy with the water. You'll need your foil and some water and something just to put the water on the page. You are only using 3 colours in your monster. You can choose red, yellow and orange, or you can choose blue, yellow and green, or you can choose blue, red and purple. You can come back to this picture at the end if you're not sure. Hopefully you've read the book Monsters Love Colours. This book is a book all about primary and secondary colours, which is what we did last week. So you should be good at this by now. We're going to draw monsters. So this one is yellow, blue and green. And this one is blue, red and purple because blue and red make purple. And this one is red and yellow and orange. So with the monsters in the book, the monsters were drawn in the primary colours red, yellow and blue, and we're going to do something a little bit different with our monsters today. So we're not going to make them just one colour, we're going to try and make them a mishmash of colours. But what we're going to do is we're just going to make them from 2 primary colours and 1 secondary colour. So today you're going to need some paper and some tin foil. Now I've just got pencil so I can draw the monster, and I've got the secondary colours in a crayon. You could just have pencil, and I've got the primary colours in a texture. It's important to have water soluble textures for this activity, but if you can't do this part you can just colour your monster in 2 primary colours and 1 secondary colour, so you don't have to have these things. Okay, I've got some paper towel, or you just need some sort of like a sponge or something that holds water. I've got a little bit of water here as well. So I'm going to be printing from the tin foil onto the paper. And the reason for that is it just looks like a painted kind of texture. So you're just going to draw your monster. I'm going to use also this black marker pen, but you could use a black pencil or anything just to outline it. Black is going to be really good. So we're going to just make monsters. So this one had a unicorn horn and crazy arms and legs, like a cloud. This one has got stripy horns and it's got a little nose and 1 eye and 2 pointy teeth. This one's got weird sort of antennae things, a stripy tummy and some angry eyes. So you can have your monster be any emotion you want. This guy's got 3 eyes, and I gave him a pair of glasses because just for comedy value. and he's not sure how he feels. This guy, he's got spots, so you could add spots to your one. I just did some hair at the top. This guy is a star shape with some stripy legs, so you can have a dancing one. And this guy's just coming off the page, so if you don't like drawing arms and legs, you could just have the arms at the bottom. So you get to do any shape that you want. So I'm going to go straight into texture. You might want to draw your monster with pencil first. So decide on the shape that you want your body to be, and then you just start to draw your body. So you could draw some spiky hair, and you could have a bit of a spiky body. Maybe he's going to be a big fat round monster. And then you got to decide how many eyes do you think your monster's going to have. Your monster could have 1 eye, 2 eyes, 3 eyes, and that's up to you where they're looking. This monster's going to look up. Do you want to have eyebrows? Do you want a nose and a mouth? Remember, monsters can have anything they want. Who's looking up? What kind of nose do you want? Or is that your mouth? Sometimes you can have just a flat mouth with a couple of teeth coming off of it, which is fine. And then other times you have a big open mouth. And when you do an open mouth with teeth, it's a really good idea to maybe colour the inside of the mouth in black, so that that's the inside part of its mouth. So remember, you can do this part with pencil, crayon, texture, whatever you've got at home. You don't have to not do the activity because you couldn't find things at home. You can just draw a monster and colour it in and send it to my webpage, and I'll put your photo up. So, here is my monster. Now, the learning intention is that we're going to colour it in 1 secondary colour, and then we're going to add the 2 primary colours that make the secondary colour. So you need a few things to colour in. So if you want to do some spots on it, or if you want to do a tummy with stripes, you need a few sections to colour in. You don't have to do a whole spot, you can do spots coming off of part of it. So once you've got your basic monster, you're going to choose which secondary colour would you like. Now this has to be done, if you're going to do the tinfoil printing, you need to do this in crayon or pencil. So if I wanted to do a green secondary colour, I would have to choose blue and yellow to do in texture, because blue and yellow make green. So those would be the 3 colours I would work with. If I wanted the secondary colour to be orange for this monster, I would also use the primary colours that make orange. So I'd use my textures that are red and yellow. If I wanted the secondary colour to be green, then the primary colours would have to be blue and yellow. So you're only using 3 colours, 1 secondary colour, and then the 2 primary colours that make that secondary colour. So if you're not sure, you can go back to the start of this video and just see which colours you can use. So for this particular monster, I'm going to colour in with my secondary colour. No, I'm going to colour it in green. There we go, I'm going to use green. And then I'm going to print over the top some blue and yellow. Alright, so the green parts to my monster could be any part I want. So I'm just going to choose a few parts to colour in green. So I could colour his eyes, or his hair, or a spot, or a stripe, or a hand, or even a tooth in the secondary colour I chose. And you don't have to do lots of these, you could do 1, but if you're like me, you could do lots. And then you could just send me the one you like, or most. Remember, you can be in the photo, or just your monster. Monsters love to colour. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more green. There we go. So I've got some of my secondary colour. I haven't coloured the whole monster in. Alright, now, I'm going to put him up here. We're going to pull out a piece of tin foil. Now, you need a piece of tin foil about the same size as your paper. Now, my monster only goes part way up my paper. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't need to colour too much in. That's about going to cover my monster. So you might need help from a grown-up. So this might be a part where you say to a grown-up, can you help me? If you don't have tin foil, then you can just continue to colour your monster in the primary colours. Now I'm going to put these primary colours onto, there's two sides to the tinfoil. One's really shiny and one's not so shiny. It doesn't really matter which side, but I like the not so shiny side. Now I've worked out that dark blue, and I'll do some dark blue just to show you, the dark blue is a little bit dark and sometimes you can't see part of your monster. So what I like to do is I like to just use light blue. So if you've got a light blue, you can use that. Now you don't need to be neat, and you just colour sections of the tin foil in your two colours. We're using three because I've got the dark blue and the light blue, but theoretically it will just be two. So I'm using blue and yellow. You don't have to colour this in particularly well. You just colour sections. Just have fun, just colour bits and pieces. Okay. You don't need to race to do this, you can take your time. This can dry on the tin foil, it doesn't matter, you can come back to it whenever you want to. So once you've done that, you get your picture back with the crayon or the pencil, as long as it's not texture. Now you can't just use your regular black texture to do this outline because we're going to put water across it. So if you use a regular one, so I've used a permanent marker to do the monster, but you could use black crayon or black pencil, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to take a piece of paper towel or a sponge, whatever you've got. I'm going to dip it in the water, squeeze, and then I'm just going to cover my monster with water. So you see, if this was just my black connector pen, it would all go everywhere, but I use permanent. I think a pencil or a crayon, black pencil or crayon, works really well. So I make my monster wet. You can make the whole page wet, it's up to you. I'm just going to make my monster wet because I want to print primary colours over the secondary colour. So here's my green. I'm going to print the blue and yellow because blue and yellow make green. So I put this on top of my monster that's a bit wet and I just flatten it down. And the more water you use, the more the colours blend. So you don't want it dripping wet, but you can use quite a lot of water if you want to. And then we peel it off, and here's my monster. So it looks amazing. It has the green secondary colour. What makes green? Blue and yellow. Now, if some of your monster doesn't print and you're a bit sad, you can do a little bit of cheating. When your monster's dry, I could take a yellow pencil and start colouring in the hair. So you can colour in. Now, your tin foil, you can take a piece of paper towel or sponge, whatever you're using, and just dry it off, and you can use this again if you want to. So you don't have to keep putting that in the bin. So if you want to do another monster, you can do another monster. So let's see what it would look like if you use black pencil. Alright, this time I'm going to have a monster with horns. It's got a scary monster. Whoa. It's like a bull. Okay, this time I'm going to have a monster with horns. I'm going to choose a different colour. So, I get to decide how many eyes. Ooh, I'm going to just do one eye. And I'm going to give him an eyelid, make him a bit sleepy. There he is. One monster. And depending on how you draw the mouth, it depends if he's happy or sad. I'm not good at noses, so I just do a regular nose like that. And then I might do a really sad face. And he might have a couple of teeth. Now remember, I want to colour some parts of the monster in, so I have to do something. So I might give him triangle stripes, you know, like a tiger. And I might give the horns some stripes too. Okay, this time I'm going to choose my secondary colour to be orange. I'm going to colour parts of the monster in orange. So, I choose lots of different sections to colour. Maybe his eyelid. You can add as much or as little detail as you want. It's all about getting the colours right. So this time it's orange. Now what two primary colours do you mix together to get orange? That's right, red and yellow. So I take my red and yellow texture, and mine are quite thick, but you could use thin ones. And I'm going to colour sections. You can colour this all messy like I did, or you could just do some dots if you wanted to. Let's see what it looks like if we just colour some dots. So if you're doing this with a much younger brother or sister, they might need your help. What you could do is you could colour in one lot, and then you could get them to colour the next lot of dots. You don't have to colour the whole of the foil, you just colour the bits that you feel like colouring. And when you're ready, you can make your monster wet and then you can print. So you might want to do that. There we go, red and yellow make orange. So again, we're going to get some paper towel in the water. We're going to put the water on the monster. Dab, 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 dab. And then we're going to take the tin foil and lay it on top. And we're going to squish those dots of colour onto the monster. Because this is a form of printing. We're taking the ink from one thing, putting it onto another thing. And see what happens. Oh, he is a really good monster. I love him. Now when he dries, you can print back over the top of him, or again, if you've missed parts, you can just colour those in. And if you don't have the tin foil, you can colour your whole monster. So I would love to see what monsters you make using primary colours and secondary colours. So it's all about colour mixing. I didn't know if you had paint at home, so I'm just choosing to mix textures with crayon or pencil. But remember, sometimes a really dark texture doesn't work, so you might want to substitute it for a bit of a lighter texture. Okay, have a lot of fun printing with tin foil. Printing with foil is super fun, but remember, don't use a water-soluble black texture, otherwise your whole monster will just get fuzzy and disappear. Okay, so be very careful with the black. And send your primary, secondary colour monster to me to put on the web page. I had a lot of people send me pictures last week of their icy poles. So your primary and secondary icy poles are up on the visual arts page for everyone to see. So go and find yours there if you emailed it to me. If you didn't, don't worry. Hopefully we'll have a whole page full primary and secondary colour monsters. I cannot wait to see them. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I enjoyed inventing it. If there's anything that you think that you would like to learn, then you can send me an email and tell me what it is that you'd like to do. So I will speak to you next week. Enjoy, have a good week, and take care. Bye. Before you go, don't forget to give me your feedback. Are you practice penguin and you'd like to have another go? Or are you done it dog and you knew the learning intention and you've done it and you think that you were successful? Or were you teacher tiger? You've done it, you were successful, now you're going to teach someone else. Let me know how you went. See you next time. Bye.